Hey guys, what is going on? Jonny Middleton and
Travis Ward.
And welcome to episode 8 of
Alternative Week.
Yes, we're coming towards the closing stage of this week now, aren't we, dude?
Today's the last day of recording for Alternative Week.
Indeed, and we'll be putting out probably this video over the weekend as well as another two. But yeah, it's just been really cool for us to review these bands for you, and I hope you've all enjoyed the ride too.
It's been very enjoyable for us.
That's true, my friend, and we'll definitely have to do something like this again in the future sometime.
Yes, we'll have to find a different genre, different element of
yes, for all the diversity and everything.
Music. Also, we have to find something that we like.
Yeah, there's lots of things we like.
This is like one of our main interests in music, this area that we're covering.
And we could be unbelievably biased, but as shown in the reviews that you'll be seeing today, probably we're a bit less biased because we actually...
More optimistic.
Yeah, we're more objective.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah, guys, today's actually a change. We're actually reviewing a British band for a change.
Yeah, the only British band in this series.
Is it really?
I think so. Yeah,
No way.
I think, it's pretty much been from the American grunge scene and then... Fifth No More Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah, it's the only British band.
Way too American influence, dude, aren't we?
I say British band, but a lot of their fame rose from America, so
it did.
They fit quite well into
with the
this.
thing that came from this album. And I'm sorry to cut you off there, Maestro.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, the band, guys, we're talking about, as you may have seen from our recent Spotify updates on Facebook, is the band Radiohead, and Radiohead are really, lots of people obviously know about this band because they're really iconic in the British rock scene.
They're one of the biggest bands out today in Britain.
Amen, and as well as also linking them in with alternative, because they're part of like the Britpop revolution as well, which occurred with bands like Oasis, I suppose.
Yeah, we're at the beginning where there's Blur and Pulp, Stone Roses.
Absolutely. You can draw parallels between those bands, but I've also like linking back to alternative, people compare Radiohead to bands like Nirvana too.
Yeah, due to the heavy crunching guitars that we will find in their early material.
Yes, and their occasionally extremely depressing lyrics at times, which are one of the songs blacklisted by BBC Radio 1. But we'll get in...
yeah, it was called Too Depressing.
Yes, so wrong, it's such a great song. We'll get into it for you guys.
You hear people saying, well, you do hear people saying that today, but you hear it's just on mainstream radio.
You do, I mean, it's really grown to be like a really renowned song. And
I guess most people can guess what we're talking about.
Yes. If you're at least like a medium-sized fan of music, you guys will know which song.
You don't even have to be a fan of Radiohead.
Nah, it's like, Radiohead were... Do you know which year they were formed, dude?
It was 1985, I think.
1985, so it took... Because I know, like, Pablo and debut was released in 1993.
Unlike most bands, Radiohead didn't go straight into the music. That wasn't their main aim. They went to an all-boys school, and they're all of different ages.
That is true, because I know, like, Tom York used to do, like, the University of Exeter, I believe.
All 5 members, I think, went to... university. 4 of them had finished their degrees when they really formed Radiohead and got noticed. I mean, they still worked on music when they were at universities. It was just on weekends and holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I know, like, before Radiohead were formed, actually a band called something on Fridays or something, because it was the other time of the week, like the band could practice.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, only on Fridays, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, I think, yeah. And, I think, like, the first official official release that Radiohead put out was the Drill EP.
Yes, that was 1992.
The 92, it actually preceded this. It actually contained 3 songs for that album.
4 demos, which will be featured later on Pablo Honey.
Yeah, because there's one song I want to do on the Drill EP called Stupid Cow, which is actually featured on Pablo Honey.
Oh, okay. Don't you for like you?
Yeah.
On it
and this they're all like demo versions.
Yeah, they're all just demos, just early works.
Sweet.
Something to give to the people.
So they're like really refined, like put onto the debut album Pablo Honey, which came out on Polydor Records. Sorry, Parlophone Records in 1993.
I think that's what Drill EP came out on as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So it's like, because Parlophone was again like a major label, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it's like like there's so many like elements concerning this album. Like, you got your more melodic tracks, you got like your more hard rocking Nirvana-esque tracks, obviously drawing comparison.
You know what's just coming to my head? You know when I was talking about record labels about Paramore the other day?
I do.
The name is
still not found the name.
It's Fueled by Raymond.
Fueled by Raymond.
So if anyone was like, tampering with their heads, trying to think of what it was, it just popped into my head.
Riot. And but yeah, like the album opens with the song "You," which I feel is like a great introduction. It's a nice, uplift. Well, sort of. It's got a nice, like, upbeat sounding, melodic, rocking riffs.
That's what you'll find a lot in this album. I mean, most people think of Radiohead today, they'll have heard quite a bit of stuff from OK Computer, released in 1997.
That really elevates the best days.
You'll hear a lot more softer guitars, and then onwards today from the next 4 or 5 albums after then, it's just been real experimental, a lot of use of electronics, a mixture of Tom York's falsetto lyrics, singing lyrics, which is also seen on this album, which made them a lot different as well at the time.
Absolutely. Although, but
back in early 90s, it's a different story.
Although, did you say that Pablo Honey and the bands were revered upon their initial release?
I mean, you look at the bands
maybe not
today.
charting, but
Oh, not very charting. But I mean, you look at the bands today. In 1998 and I think 2005, Q magazine, a popular magazine, I think here in the UK, and I think it's around the world.
Q and NME.
Yeah.
Really focus on British rock publications.
Radiohead's been in the top 2 as albums of like just the greatest albums of all time. Both years, 1998, OK Computer, and then the Bends, and then 2005.
That's really cool.
Same order. So
it really sums up like the legacy of the band, I suppose. You know, and when you like sort of introduce them, like it doesn't like go OTT. They get the song "Creep," which is what we're mentioning about, dude. That was the single that really propelled the band's status.
Genius. I mean, it was Creep.
It
wasn't as popular when it first came out. I mean, it got re-released and then it became popular. When it first came out, it wasn't getting as much airplay because people thought it was dark and depressing, as pretty much like BBC credited it as too depressing. But
yeah,
it got noticed over shores in Tel Aviv.
As well as
California, I think it was.
I think like an American radio station started like playing the song again. It attracted attention.
It was more like the West Coast, which was then it
West Coast massive one.
Yeah, West Coast started spreading around. But first in Tel Aviv, and that was their first over shores gig as well. They were asked to go and play there.
Redness as well. So great minds, man, great minds. You know, and like initially in the band, like recording Creep too. You know, like Tom York was a little reluctant to put it out, but also like. You know, they jigged up the band and got them to record it because the band quality wasn't very good apparently.
And today is like one of the most anthemic British rock songs today.
It is. If you say a Radiohead song, they'll probably immediately think of the song Creep.
It's got to be Creep every time. I mean, you've got some other tracks like Colour Police, I guess, and No Surprises, but it'll be Creep that people jump to.
You know, and the music video of that song, so it's really dark, and it's sort of like you know, confers like the grunge like little things been on about.
Quite like that as well. It's like a dusty sort of live gig.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me of the songs for videos for Plush by STP and Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Yeah, Nirvana Light. So obviously Radiohead aren't as...
That's how they were dubbed.
Yeah.
Because of their crunching guitar riffs.
Absolutely. You know, I'd say they're up there with like that Nirvana sound. But yeah, they get songs like How Do You, which I feel is it a lot lighter, that song, How Do You?
Question mark. I think it's a lot lighter. Like Vegetable as well is a lot lighter, but it's got a killer riff.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, Radiohead, like, you know, Rollout is like crunchy riffs. Like, it's like also it's like really like melodic and sweet. You know, melodic songs. I suppose.
What's said about Radiohead? But I mean, Creep when it was re-released, it sold really well. But sadly, none of the other singles, which I think were good enough, we weren't credited as well, such as Anyone Can Play Guitar,
and
which
Stop Whispering.
I think those are very popular Radiohead songs today, especially Anyone Can Play Guitar. Just
that's
rock
great.
Riffs.
And you know, like the general flow of the sound has like a great flow. You know, there's so many like anthemic songs as we were saying, dude.
I mean, Radiohead did get popular with Creep, but it's more of a from today perspective, having to keep going back today instead of a time period. It's just really noted today.
It is. You know, Creep is notorious amongst many, and you know, I really dig the songs such like You Creep, How Do You, and Stop Whispering, dude. But then like it gets to songs like track 5, Thinking About You, it's more like an acoustic number in many ways.
Yeah.
It's like a little love song because I know that. Because obviously Creep lyrically is written about this like girl that Tom York liked into because it's about you're so special, you float like an angel, I think.
The lyrics in the name pretty much sums up. It's probably a love song.
It's like it's belittling himself because it's like, you know, he's saying like I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
You're just saying
just to quote like an entire verse.
Well, when people are feeling down, you'll see them quoting Creep.
Yes, probably. You know, Thinking About You again. It's like, you know, a soft little you know, acoustic number. Again, it adds diversity to the album. You know, I think it's a great song, Thinking About You. Yeah, it's good.
I don't think it's a bad song in this album.
No, I think Anyone Can Play Guitar, which mentioned it's a great anthemic, nice
good
song.
rock and roll guitar song, whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's not like, it's sort of like hypocritical. It's like an optimistic message, like anyone can play guitar, it's like anyone can, you know, strive for the stars and hit success. I guess that was like Ripcord, which we were talking about earlier.
That's got a good rock riff. Yeah, I guess it's what like playability.
Although I was thinking that a certain song here, I think it could be like How Do You. It's like, you know, because it's Vegetable or Prove Yourself. Like the 8 and 9 tracks, one of them's more like acoustic. Like Thinking About You is. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Vegetable's electric. It's just got a really nice riff to it.
Absolutely.
While picking on the strings, I think.
Yeah, they got the last 3 songs, and you know, obviously like the big singles are like, you know, more people think it's like Creep, Anyone Can Play Guitar, and Stop Whispering. You know, the last 3 songs like I Can't, Lurgy, and Blowout, they're all like, you know, as good as the other tracks on the album.
Definitely.
You know, like, and I was listening to this album last night in preparation for this review, as I know you were doing early this morning.
Just having a nice listen to it.
Yeah, it's like, listen to this album, like, throw it on, you know, it just flies by, you know. There's
42 minutes of rock.
Indeed, of traditional, dirty, even grungy British rock.
I guess that's,
Radiohead with a British grunge band, dude.
Yeah, there weren't that many. There's really not that many.
I guess Radiohead like bring that over. I don't know if that could be like an American influence. Because Radiohead did have a lot of affiliation with the States, as we were saying.
Especially with Creep, yeah.
But yeah, it's just an album Pablo and Gaz, you know, I've wanted for a really long time, and you know, it's just got...
It's a good starting place, I think, for Radiohead.
It's just like got a nice vibe. It's dark, and you know, on a dull day, you can like watch the rain fall outside, and listen to this album, and just so you can get into like a nice zone, I suppose.
Yeah, Radiohead, yeah.
And what are you saying, dude? After Pablo Honey came out and released like an EP before their next album.
Which name?
Can you remember the name of this?
It's like one word and
Itch.
Oh yeah, Itch.
Itch EP.
Yeah, sorry, Itch. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
It's got the like, I guess like what are those sweets called? I don't know, but what's
flowers.
Really?
Candy.
I don't know, but these I'll bring it to these like candy sweets surrounding the child on
In terms
Pablo
of
Honey.
yourself, dude, like Faith No More, it's on Epic.
And the colour in the art, it's like different coloured circles, I guess, which is pretty much
It's
what
trippy.
the EP artwork. It does quite trippy for the drill EP as well, as all these colours mixed in together. But this one's like different coloured dots with just Radiohead across it on a white background, like Pablo Honey.
And as you can see it back in, it's like really grungy, like purple. It's very it's like stateside.
Am I going to get up again?
States like this time I step up to the camera, check it out. That's like the back cover, like all the purple and stuff, and the disc's a bit simple.
Pretty traditional.
It's just basically yellow and red, yellow and purple even.
Wow.
I get confused easily. I best sit back down so I feel a bit awkward here.
It's like one of those words where it's like coloured in purple, but it says red.
Yeah. And it's this isn't the reference to the Prodigy. I don't know what is.
Like
Look at it.
What is it before
Brief video.
Lambo?
Yeah, they get pitched like the band Tom York and all the rest, looking very Kurt
The
Cobain.
Prodigy's inspired by Radiohead.
Maybe so. You know, they're both British bands, dude. So
Yeah.
band performing in a very dark room. I don't think I actually show you guys all the extensive artwork. I'm sending that close to the booklet. I'd imagine like on the reissue this album, the artwork would be more expansive.
Have they reissued it?
I'm not sure. I know they did something in 2011, like most people did in 2000. So it's 91 was an iconic year, so it's released a lot of reissues
Yeah,
like
like-
after 2011.
Like a band we're looking at later.
Yep, namely, no, I'm not saying it because that'd be spoiling it.
Well, I mean, if they can guess by the album artwork we go through in the beginning of the video, they can like pick out who's left.
Yeah. Because we've been like subliminally like secretive with you guys, like you know putting a little piece of artwork together from all the bands.
Not many people know what's going to be on the next day, so.
Nope. Haha. Keep your surprise. But yeah, after the Itch EP, guys, were there any tracks on the Itch EP like My Iron Lung or something?
I'm not sure because I think a lot of them were just live versions of tracks which were on Pablo Honey, so I can see why it's relatable artwork.
Absolutely. I mean, I heard a tour story as well about Radiohead from the time of Pablo Honey. Basically, like how like the band were like touring for an extremely long time. It was like getting them down to say to like record new songs
around the States as well. Just blowing up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's during the time they debuted the new song My Iron Lung, which showcased more like diverse, expansive directions, especially on Pablo Honey.
I've got quite a bit of radio play as well. But there was a lot of pressure put onto Radiohead going into their second album to make...
top it or exceed the success of Creep.
Indeed. And in my opinion...
Wikipedia.
In my opinion, The Bends is one of my favourite albums of all time. Not just because it's credited high in like the queue. I've extensively listened to this album, and if you gave me probably like a top 20 list of albums, that would be... it would be safe.
And it's not too much different from Pablo Honey. You know? It's like guitar-driven sound. It's just
a lot more experimentation of guitars. A lot like an older sense.
Absolutely, I guess it's like a precursor to like OK Computer, but not giving too much away.
Yeah, less effects. Like OK Computer wise, you know, less experimenting, but
just OK Computer is very different to the Bends.
It's a lot softer as well.
That's what I was going to say. Especially on like so no surprises.
Because like the biggest track probably from the album is High and Dry. And that's one of the softest ones. It's just
I didn't actually initially like that song the first time. High and Dry. I've also been more of a Fake Plastic Trees fan myself.
Did you think it was like a bit too somber?
Yeah, maybe.
Sad.
You know, I don't. But I first songs like the first few songs like Planet Talix and the Bends.
Yeah, the title track is probably my favourite track.
As well as Just. Obviously the big single album.
There's just so many good rock songs on it. I mean, there's soft songs such as
Street Spirit,
and Nice Dream.
Nice Dream, dude.
Yeah,
that song really struck me out as iconic straight away.
Well, My Iron Lung's quite soft for the most part. And it's got really kicks in.
It does.
And good use of Tom York's vocals, and there's different use of microphones on this album as well.
Absolutely. You know, that's like reaffirms the experimentation bit. But I actually heard High and Dry this morning, but I really like it now.
I just love the acoustic riff itself. So same with Just, he's got some very iconic riffs on this album.
Absolutely, you know, it continues on from
and Pablo and Lung, picking up guitar strings.
Because with Pablo Honey, you know, there's also like risk like get caught up, like it all sounds a bit like crunched together. With this album, like each song stands out individually.
This is just one of my favourite albums. I just don't know what to say.
It's with Pablo Honey, you know, all the songs like sound sameish, but it's just its beauty, you know. I can't remember.
It's a lot more well produced than Pablo Honey as well. It's just a fame of Crete really beef him up.
I don't actually. I was trying to think who produced Pablo Honey now.
I don't think it charted as well as people would expect it to have because of Creed.
Somebody.
Because of Creed, but it's just a really, you know, it took time for people to realise what Radiohead were all about, because this album helped boost their fame, but it was pretty much OK Computer which gave them their massive international success. Because this one, not Pablo Honey, but Benz did give him international success.
But as I said, you know, when Pablo Honey and Benz came out, obviously it's like revered by fans because a lot of them are more heavily guitar-driven tracks. You know, like when you can group like Pablo Honey and the Benz because it's like, you know, some of the same like different direction after the Benz.
It just helped equip them with more popular songs.
Yeah, I think like, you know, as I was saying, like the Benz were expansive. It's like more songs on the Benz, whereas it's Pablo Honey. I mean, it's like Black Star and stuff. I think.
12 tracks on it.
12 or 13.
The last track being the more penultimate track of them all. Just Street Spirit is probably one of the best songs.
Beautiful song,
one of the best songs ever written.
Yeah, I think like probably the Benz is like harder to get through than Pablo Honey due to its massive expansion in comparison to the album.
It's one of the more depressing, I guess, and it's like there was no way it just came together. Tom York just said it happened out of nowhere.
Absolutely, you know, and that can happen sometimes. You know, like obviously like the band being like touring Pablo Honey for like 2 years, so Michael quite
it's one of the best guitar written songs I think of the 90s.
Are we still talking about Street Spirit?
I'm definitely talking about Street Spirit.
I just love the opening riff. It's just like I remember hearing it on Kerrang Radio.
Yeah.
The shame with Kerrang Radio don't play stuff like all the time.
We're very biased towards Kerrang Radio these days.
Kerrang Radio sucks these days. But yeah, Radiohead, guys, in between these, obviously we can only cover their first 2 albums in their time period.
Yeah. So there's not as much like to say like.
They probably didn't make such an impact on the alternative scene as what will be like future albums, like what I was saying, dude.
Yeah, like OK Computer in 1997 and Kid A in 2000.
Yeah, because I think like their first 2 albums were like fairly low key. Because I know on the tour of Pablo Honey, you know, the band might open like clubs and universities across the country in the UK. Yeah. But the Benz was like, you know, was like their like arena level album maybe, or
not arena. That's definitely OK Computer, I think. But you see differences with these albums. This is more rock. It's more alternative rock. Then after that, they've never really come back to this era.
Probably Radiohead helps, but it's really hard to like categorise their music these days. It contains lots of different elements of everything.
Probably if you look at bio on them, there'll just be all these different
genres. I just call it experimental rock.
It's very experimental. Yeah, it's still rock.
Because Radiohead's roots are firmly in rock, dude.
Yeah, firmly in rock in the early 90s, late 80s, and then I mean,
I prefer it, you know.
I don't think they've put out a bad record. I think they've just got some albums which are better than others. Like
it depends what your view is, you know. That's the great about music, guys. It's all opinion based, you know.
Yeah.
We have our opinions, and you probably have your opinions.
See, I like OK Computer Kid. I've never really looked at Amnesia and Held to the Thief as much as in Rainbows.
Insomniac too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out a year after Kid A.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Amnesia came out after.
Yeah, so Gap, OK Computer 97, Kid A 2000.
And then I think it's 2001 from Amnesia. But
and then Hell's 2003, even Rainbow 2007, Kingdom 2000.
Yeah, when I first heard him, Rain was like Jigsaw Falling Into a Place, such a good song to listen to. And then they had all those basement sessions as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Suitable.
Yeah, like, you know, obviously Radiohead went on a period of experimentation after our period, but, you know, I wish they'd go back to, like, guitar-driven, you know, innocence of Pablo Honey and the Benz.
King of Limbs is very experimental, but it's just good to just sit back and listen to it.
The
drums on the first track are just mind-blowing, the way they've used them. But then just there's some good tracks like Lotus Flower and just Tom York's obsessive use of dancing, like on Street Spirit. And then today, I mean, you've got Tom York in a side project called Amok. With bass player Flea.
You were telling about this the other day, weren't you?
With bass player Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and also
what a combination!
There's a video there of him dancing. It's just
Flea's like
because he like after Radiohead, I think they've gone on a little bit of hiatus. I guess after King of Limbs, and he released some more soft piano-y solos, but then that's
he likes the piano, dude. Yeah, he loves it. Tom York loves the piano. But yeah, like it's been like 3 years since King of Limbs.
Yeah, I think the 2011. Yeah.
They should work on something new. But like you were saying, they're also taking a hiatus. But yeah, overall, like Radiohead's material, I really enjoy the albums recording this period of Pablo and in the beds because more guitar driven. I feel more guitar driven, down experimental stuff.
I guess this is probably the only band in this period that we're looking at that's had the same lineup once they started to the present day. They've never lost any members. They've probably just added when they've used new like instruments
directions, you know.
Yeah, but the same 5 from 1985 now. So.
Yeah, and just one more thing, dude. Do you know like how Tom York was like writing about really depressive subject matters on Pablo Honey and sort of like his youthful innocence?
Yeah.
Which then that sort of like it's like fade out a little bit with the Ben's a bit more in a more mature writing, lyrics.
It was going in. It's a good way to end, I think, because it's good mature stuff. It's more adult sadness. And it's like
everybody's got to grow up at some point.
Yeah, and it's a good way to lead on to what OK Computer, this more sad music, which is
I know you're saying
heavily.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you were saying like after because like a song, weren't they, like that wasn't on an album, but like it didn't give a direct indication to what OK Computer would be. I was like, no band.
You're thinking of another band?
Oh, sorry, I did this before.
Because we've been discussing stuff before we started recording about because we're recording 3 videos today.
We forget things. We've got a busy day ahead of us, folks.
So
but I love it.
Even though there's only a short amount of time for Radiohead in this period album-wise,
they made a big impact on the underground. You know, the seeds were planted for their future with Pablo Honey and the Bends, in my opinion.
It's just important to know after this time period of how much of an impact they were. There might have been a lot less in like all the bands we're talking about. They're probably right about.
And just so you know, guys, the song "Creep" was blacklisted by BBC Radio 1. Sorry, I didn't mention that before.
But now it's probably heavily praised.
It's just a great song. It's really stood the test of time. You know, I think this Pablo Honey and the Bends stood the test of time.
So many covers of this song. It's just a song that everyone wants to learn.
I mean, one of the bands covering in this series, guys, also has a song with the same name, but it's completely different too. Just gotta throw that in there, man. But yeah, like, you know, Radiohead was like a cult band at this time. You know, Pablo Honey and the Bends did out like could have made an immediate impact, but didn't just lay the seeds for what was to come in the future.
There was something different in Britain.
Yeah. It's like I was saying, it's like bringing the grunge from America over to here.
There's something different from Britpop. And,
it's like heavy Britpop.
And now there isn't that many bands which touch what Radiohead do because
especially in the early days.
You never know what they're going to do next.
Nah, you know, and that air of unpredictability is really cool, I feel. So yeah, guys and girls, this has been mine and Travito's review on Radiohead. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I know this has been a really interesting review, dude. Myself.
I'm enjoying it. Radiohead was something different.
Yeah, hopefully I've talked a lot more of us. I've seen to just been like reply like yep all the time, as I was saying. But yeah, guys, girls, hope you all enjoyed our review of Radiohead, and so this has been album review. Band review, our discography review of something number 8. And so until next time, I've been Jonny Middleton.
And I've been Travis Ward.
Thank you for watching. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, and we shall see y'all in the future forever. Peace and much love. Forever. This is the sound Travis Ward experimenting on his guitar, playing a little bit of riff for y'all. It's coming up. Because we're huge Radiohead fans, aren't we, dude?
I guess so.
Radiohead are ace, yeah. Bit of tremolo picking solo. Yeah, very alternative, my friend. Rap.